out there, but they don't want you to know. Learn why on the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show as he explores civil rights laws, constitutional provisions, political news, and more. Finding solutions starts with knowing the truth, the real truth. Uncover the truth for yourself on the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show. That's the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show. Available on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you listen to podcasts. Open your ears, open your eyes. It's time to learn what's really happening on the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show.
If men were angels, no government would be necessary, James Madison famously wrote in Federalist No. 51. James Madison is known as the father of the Constitution. Although he initially opposed a Bill of Rights because he believed it was unnecessary, he drafted and proposed the amendments that would later become the Bill of Rights we have today. But today's school system has failed to properly educate students on these basic rights. It becomes difficult to defend against government abuses when citizens aren't informed of what their rights actually are. The First and Second Amendments are clearly the most well-known rights in the Constitution. The Third Amendment puts restrictions on the forced housing of military personnel in citizen homes. Amendments 4 through 8 deal with searches and seizures, due process, a speedy and fair trial by a jury, and protections against cruel and unusual punishment. Amendments 9 and 10 give power or authority that the Constitution does not assign to the government, to the states, and to the people. The Bill of Rights is arguably the most important section to the Constitution. It's much easier for the government to take away these rights when the population isn't educated on what rights they have. So we're diving deep into the Constitution at Convention of States this week. Head to conventionofstates.com to learn more.
I was thinking about how far we've come as a nation, but how far we have to go. Until Black Lives Matter, all lives don't matter. And this is what this is telling us today.
George Floyd, killed in police custody, flanked on either side by Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., both assassinated.
If it doesn't give you the urgency to do something, then we don't matter.
Funny what happens when you slow down and take to heart what you see.
But turn a blind eye by not taking any action to better our today and future and allow the past to take its final breath.
Hey, what's up, America? I'm your host, Rico Dukes for They Fear Truth Show. And I'm also your 2024 presidential candidate. Hold up. Hold on, y'all. Turn some over. There we go. I'm also your 2024 presidential candidate. And today's show is going to be in regards to the Bill of Rights. Do you know your rights? Do you know your rights? The right to abolish a government. I'm gonna give y'all the briefing of what abolishing a government means. 1776 Declaration of Independence tell you, say, this was wrote by Thomas Jefferson. We hold these truths to be self-evident. that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain enabling rights, that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Indeed, will indicate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transit causes, and are calling all expense habit sharpen. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what it means when it says um, governments are instituted among men, meaning governments are basically men that enforce rules and regulations. Who are the governed? It says that deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. You, the people, are the governed, meaning that the government is governing you, but you give the power to that government. Well, why ain't nobody never abolished the government? Because many people don't never have the heart to try to abolish the government. Many people don't even have the heart to stand against the government, let alone try to abolish it. Sorry about that, y'all. But as you see, we have already done that. They feel Truth Federal Government of America. We have created our own federal government, legal American federal government, and it is in the power of the people of America. Many organizations out here today, they not in no shape, form, or fashion trying to form their own government. They trying to form money out of your pocket. Why do you have? Why would you want to abolish the government? First of all, why would you want to still be under a government that murders you, kills you, illegally incarcerates you, terrorize your kids? I mean, put poison in your food, your water, all this here. Why would you still be wanting that government to rule you? Well, Rico, how is it that this episode is not going to be long, y'all? I just want to touch in with y'all on this right here. You have to join Dukes and Newton Law University to learn everything. But how do you abolish a government? First, it tells you you have to when it comes a bad government when it's doing all type of illegal things. How do you prove the government is doing illegal? You have to prove it's a certain thing called RICO Act. The RICO Act is Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization Act. Congress enacted that act in 1962 to eradicate all criminal organizations, including themselves. Now, how do you prove a long history that the government been killing people? It's been proved that the government had something to do with Martin Luther King murder. It's been proved that the government had something to do with Malcolm X assassination. It's been proved that the government had something to do with my pops assassination and the demise of the Black Panthers and many other organizations that fought for freedom and independence. So it's been proved time and time again. They assassinated a president on national TV, John F. Kennedy. So it's been proved time and time again. This is how I created my own federal government. That is a legal American federal government. Federal Duns number 118692752. So you got to know the knowledge to abolish one. That's why you heard on the first beginning of the video, it told you, it said many people don't know their rights. This is why many people can't stand up. This is why many people can't defend nothing, because they don't know their rights. The reason why they don't know their rights, because they are either they don't care to know their rights, or either they feel like that don't involve them. Your rights involves you from the time you're born to the time that you die. They never had any rights over you. How do you say they never had any rights over you? How was the government created then? The The government that exists today is in the headquarters of Washington, D.C., which is a territory that lacks power, authority, and jurisdiction. That is what a territory is. It's just like the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands is a part of America, but the Virgin Islands can't enforce any rules, regulations, or make any laws for the 50 American states. This is the same thing what Washington, D.C. is that runs the entire country. How do they do that? Because they did it with you in fear and lack of knowledge. If you don't know the law, you can't do nothing. If you're afraid to stand up for the law that you know, you still can't change nothing. So it was not impossible to create another government. I just had to have the knowledge and the heart, the courage to do it, which many organizations today don't have. So if you are for real about a real revolutionary, link up with They Fear Truth Federal Government of America. We are the real revolution. We are the real revolution. No other organization, no other group out here, including the Nation of Islam, have formed their own government. I'm going to say that again. No other organization or group in the United States of America, we ain't going to say the United States because that's a territory. We're going to say in the 50 American states, no other organization or group have ever formed their own federal government. No one but the Chief Attorney, Rico Dukes, of They Fear Truth Federal Government of America is the only other federal government that has ever been formed. Meaning you have the Indian government, but the Indian government are under the U.S. government. This is why they have a .gov email address and a .gov website, because they are a U.S. Indian nation government, federal government. So that basically they are a U.S. federal government. We are an independent American federal government. We didn't sign any form of USM 94, Foreign Central Authority, which is judicial and serves a process and abroad. We didn't sign that. That basically means you signing your rights over to a foreign nation to enforce foreign rules onto foreign people. Who are the foreign people? You. You wonder why you get so much injustice, because you are being ruled by a foreign illegal organization. Once again, if you want to learn more and you want to be educated and you really with this revolution, link up with They Fear Truth Federal Government of America. Make sure you tune in to our class, Dukes and Newton Law University. I'm your 2024 presidential candidate. Make sure that y'all vote for me, man. Make sure y'all put it up. You can't go wrong with me. Make sure that y'all vote for me. You can't go wrong. I'll be out mingling with the peoples. Getting close around the end of this year, the first of next year, I'll be out with my campaign. I'll be out promoting my books. I'll be out promoting my federal government. I'll be out doing a lot of numerous things. My employees, they're already out there. Y'all make sure, if you're ready for a real revolution, link up with They Fear Truth Federal Government of America. We only looking for the real revolutionaries. I'm your host, Rico Dukes, for They Fear Truth News and TV. Peace.